Good afternoon, everybody. It is Victoria Thomas with Agent Development. I hope everybody's having a good Monday. We are going to talk about the title capture app and how to create some seller net sheets and some other cool stuff that you can do with it today. As a reminder, everybody on the call is muted. So if you can find that question panel for me, I will try and monitor those as we go along, but I'll definitely be sure to check it at the end and see if anybody has any questions. I want to share my phone screen with all of you really quick for a second, because there is an actual mobile version of this. There's an actual app that you can download on your phone. So here is my iPhone screen, and you can see here that top middle app there where it says Talk to Tucker Services. That is the app version of what we're going to look at today. That other Tucker app is just the regular, like, talktotucker.com and the mobile version, so you can find and share and like favorite homes and listings and stuff like that. But that Tucker Services app is an actual app you can put on your phone, so you could do like seller net sheets on the fly just with your phone with a client. But we're going to look at the desktop version of it today. It's a little bit easier to teach on and a little bit easier to see kind of what's going on. But I just wanted you to know that that does exist. But I am going to do the desktop version. So I am just at, it's tuckerservicesapp.com. So you can see it's like Tucker Services, don't forget the S, app.com. So I'm going to go here, and then the first place I'm going to go is I'm just going to click on this big yellow bar where it says click here to visit title capture. It's going to redirect me here. And then Okta's trying to log me in right away. If you have never used this platform, though, you will have to create an account. We don't have them pre-created for you. I don't know what your password is. You have to create an account. It's pretty simple to do that. I'll show you really quick. You're just going to scroll kind of past this login, and it says no account. Click here to sign up for free. And then obviously you're just going to fill out your info. And Okta keeps trying to log me in. You're just going to fill out your info. So whatever email you normally use, you're going to then create a password. Obviously, you're going to type in your first name, your last name, the company, just FC Tucker is fine. And then you want to make sure that you assign a branch. Obviously, if you belong to the Avon office, choose Avon. If you belong to the East office, choose East. If you are any other office, whether you are Carmel or Zionsville or Meridian North or Valpo or Evansville or whatever, just select main office. Once you select one of these offices, you can then come over here and select an agent. So if you see your office agent represented here, obviously click on their name. So like if you're at Keystone and you know Khaki is your agent, click on Khaki. If your agent, however, is not listed, just go ahead and select Jamie. She's the new president of Title Services who took over from Jerry. Jerry's name is still on here. No big deal, but I would select Jamie. So if you don't see your agent represented, you're the agent for your office, just go ahead and click on Jamie. And then the last thing you want to absolutely be sure is click that you are a real estate agent. Make note, write down whatever that password is that you created, and then click sign up. Okay. No questions so far. Awesome. So once you've signed up or signed in, I'm going to go back to sign in. And I'm going to go ahead. I can say, I can put my password in. I can say, remember me. If you maybe went through a LEAP class with me and you signed up and you're like, but dang, I don't remember what my password is, just click that forgot my password, follow those instructions and reset it. But right now, I am just going to go ahead and sign in. All right. And then we're going to land here on this screen. And what we're going to talk about today are seller net sheets. So there's a lot of other stuff here. You can get a title, you can get a quote from title. There are buyer estimates in here, but the one that we think is kind of most helpful are seller net sheets. So I can either hit where it says calculate now, or I can go up here to the top where it says seller net sheets, and I'm going to click on that. All right, so here it is. It's pretty straightforward. You do have to type in a property location though to start like typing. So you'll see, I'll start typing here and it's going to start populating. There we go. I'm going to click on that. And then it's just going to start asking me for all of that info. So we're going to say, you know, sales price, let's say 280. Closing date, it automatically gave us a closing date of 30 days out. So you can see it put us, today's November 1st, it put us at December 1st, but I can change this if need be. So no, actually the 1st is on a Wednesday, so that is good to me. And then it's just going to start walking us through this. So additional transaction details. Is there a prior policy within the last 10 years? You may or may not know this. Your seller may or may not know this. Obviously, if there has been, it might be able to, you know, if there's been a transaction in the last 10 years, they can pull that. It might save your client some money. So it's worth asking. In this instance, I'm just going to keep it as no. And then it also says, you know, who pays for the closing fee? Obviously, in a quote unquote normal market, this is often split between the buyers and sellers. But if you want to make your offer, you know, really fantastic, if you're on the other side of this, the buyer might pay. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's a 50-50 split. Then it's going to ask if there are any mortgage payoffs. Obviously, at this point, you can ask your seller if they're willing to, you know, give you that information. And don't forget that oftentimes, like what they owe and what the payoff is can be a little bit different. So in this instance, we'll say that there's a mortgage payoff maybe of like $100,000. Okay. The next one down is real estate broker commission. Obviously, the default is a percentage, but you can change it to $1 if there was a reason for that. We'll say for this instance, we are at 6%. So 3% to you, the listing agent, 3% to the buyer's agent. And then it also asks about that transaction fee. So that is the transaction fee that is written into the listing contract, whether you cover that yourself or you choose to pass that on to the buyer, or excuse me, to the seller. That is kind of up to you. That's a business decision. But every transaction that goes through accounting, sorry, my brain died for a second. Every transaction that goes through accounting does have a transaction fee that is associated with it. It is $225. So for this instance, we'll say maybe we're like passing that on to the seller. Okay. The next one down is just homeowners association dues. Obviously, you're going to ask your homeowner if they have an HOA, if they've paid it. Let's see. So this is my address. So we have an annual of a whole $40. So mostly goes for plowing the snow. So we'll say, here we go. Did I pay it for this year? Yes, I did. And then obviously like resale certificate, transfer fee, you might not know this information. Your seller might not even know this information. This is oftentimes just a cost that the HOA charges to just like do that paperwork, to say that this person no longer owns the home and this person now does. Like that's what a transfer fee is. Some HOAs I've seen have really high transfer fees because they often maybe have like a really low or a non-mandatory due. So it just, again, you may or may not know this, your seller may or may not know this. If you work a lot in a certain neighborhood, you might, you know, eventually learn what, you know, certain neighborhoods do and what types of HOAs they have. For this instance, I'm just going to leave them blank though. Okay. And then property taxes, annual property taxes, you know, what are they? They're usually like 1% or whatever, or 3% or 10. Is it 10%? I need to eat some lunch apparently. So there we go. So that's about what they would be at 1%. So did seller pay taxes for last year? We pay in arrears. It is just now November. So we would say like first half paid only. There we go. And then you can also start including like other expenses and credits. So again, any like expense that your seller might incur to sell their home, you can start putting these in here. And again, it's just an estimate. And you can always, you know, overestimate So then when the numbers come back better and your seller is not spending as much money and they have a little bit more in their pocket, like it makes you look even better. So we could say like something like an expense, you know, maybe like repair costs. So maybe we estimate like $2,000 in repairs. And obviously right now in the market that we have, sellers aren't maybe doing as much repair. We're selling a lot more like as is and that kind of stuff. But again, this is just an idea, give your sellers an idea of what they're going to net. So you can add as many expenses or as few expenses as you like, and you can even change this. So from an expense, maybe they're thinking that they're going to get a credit on something, you can choose to change that from an expense to a credit. And again, you can add as many. So like, I don't know, like a survey might be another one, or anything like that. So I'm just going to leave it at repair costs for right now. Maybe a home warranty, like the buyer's asked for a home warranty, that could be another expense. Again, whatever you think might be applicable to your seller. So we've put in all this info and then I'm going to hit calculate and it's going to do all the math for me. So here, my seller, if we had a sales price of $280, you know, with all of these other, so here it includes everything from title. So we've got the closing fee, the title insurance, all of this stuff here. We show what we've got to pay off with the mortgage. We show the real estate broker commission on both sides. So what they're gonna, you know, pay total. We show a credit here for the property taxes, all of that. So then the estimated net proceeds for this seller would be $155,634 and a whole 10 cents. You can then do a couple of different things once you've created this. So if I scroll back up to the top, I can edit it. So if I see I made a mistake somewhere and I want to change something or get rid of something or add something, I can edit this. I can email this. I can download it as a PDF. I can also save it. If you navigate away from this though, and you try to come back and save it, it won't let you. So if you know you want to keep this, I do recommend that you go ahead and hit save. It says, what do you want to name it? You know, so you could, you know, Smith or whatever their last name, save it, done. So it's been saved. Now I could download it as a PDF. If I click that, it's going to download here for me. I can show you kind of what that looks like if it wants to load. Okay, so here you can see, here's the PDF. It even has my title rep on it. I can scroll all the way down. It's kind of weird to put it onto 2 pages, but there's even a spot where you can have your seller sign, and it's just sort of noting, that way you can say this is only an estimate, and I want my seller to understand that it's only an estimate of what they might net from the sale, so that they can't come back on you and say, well, you said it would be X number of dollars, because we never know like what we're going to encounter or things that are going to come up, right? But if you wanted to print this out and provide it to your seller, you could have them sign it if you wanted them to. Okay. Since I saved that, all I'm doing is here. So like if I hop back, you can see up at the top here, here's where I can come to new and I can create a new one. Otherwise, if I click on saved, I can view these ones that I've saved before. So here's the one we just created, this Smith one. And here you can see some old ones, this one on 53rd Street. Here I just used the office address for this one. And just I can go back and I can pull any of those again. So that's just the seller net sheet. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The other thing though that you can do is up here at the top, like I said, there's also a buyer estimate. So you could put in an estimate, you know, what a buyer might incur. Again, pretty straightforward. The other thing though is if I come back up here to all estimates, there's also a seller's multiple offer. So we just walked through and created a seller net sheet, and you know, just in an ideal situation of like we would get X amount of dollars, and these are you know, the expenses that we might have. There is also a multiple offer where you can do what we just did, but you can do it for as many offers as you might have come in. So, you know, whether it's 2 or 3 or 23, because I've seen that craziness happen in this market, you could maybe pick your best ones or whatever, and then walk through all of this, create those seller net sheets. And then it's kind of a good like visual representation, especially if you have a seller who wants to be able to see that and really, you know, weigh one offer against the other. You got it here right in front of your face in black and white. So it's the same kind of thing. You got to put in the address. You're going to put in those seller expenses. So we'll split this. We'll put in that same mortgage payoff, homeowners association dues. We'll say annually, $40. Yes. Skip that. Property taxes. Paid for the first half of the year. Okay, so all of that is the same, right? As we already did for the regular seller net sheet. But then this is where we start breaking it down by offers. So this is offer number 1. Whoops, I didn't mean to clap that. Offer number 1, closing date, we'll leave it. You can start like naming these. So maybe this is buyer number 1, you know, is the Jones. And they want to offer an amount of $285. You can then select what type of loan they have. So maybe they're a conventional loan. And then here again, I can put in expenses. So maybe we'll do repairs just to overestimate. And then again, real estate commission. So we'll say 3% on each side, $225 transaction fee. And then we can just start adding offers. So here's offer number 2. And let's say maybe they want to close the week after that. And this buyer is Thomas, and they're offering, maybe they're offering $290, and they're not conventional, they're cash. And commission stays the same, transaction fee stays the same. So we'll just put these 2 offers. They're similar, but not totally. So here we would say, you know, offer number 1, it shows us with a sale price of $285 conventional. The seller walks away with a little more than $150,000. Or we look at offer number 2, and offer number 2, they are offering, you know, $5,000 more and in cash. So the seller nets almost $167,000. I mean, this is a kind of a no-brainer here, right? Like we look at this offer versus this offer. We don't mind that we close a week later. Sure, like we're going to take offer number 2, right? Probably. But this is just nice. Again, if you have multiple offers, maybe they're very different or very similar, and you just need to see that little bit of difference between them to you select which one maybe you accept. But like I said, you can do this with as many offers as need be. I don't know that there's a limit on how many that you can compare. So, and then same sort of thing. If I scroll up to the top, I can save it, I can edit it, I can download it, I can email it to my client, I can do kind of whatever I want. So that is just the quick. There's also like other estimates in here. Like I said, you get title quotes, loan estimate quotes. There's more for the buyers. There's a rent versus buy one in here. Yeah, there's other stuff in here, but the one that we like the most is the seller net sheet. It's quick and easy to read. And then also you can do the multiple offer situation. So that is the Title Capture app. Don't forget that you can download the actual app on your phone. And it looks like this. It's this one right here. It says Talk to Tucker Services app. And then if you want to check this out, it is just tuckerservicesapp.com, and then click on this yellow Visit Title Capture, and it will bring you to where we are here. I'm going to go back. So tuckerservicesapp.com. And then let's see, does anybody have, that's all I've got. So does anybody have any questions about the Title Capture app? Okay. I don't see any in the box. I know it was a quick one today, but kind of quick, kind of simple. If you have any questions about anything at any time, I hope you guys all know where to find me. It's just victoria.thomas@talktotucker.com. And we are happy to help in agent development. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.